As far as you go back in the history of art, one element is always present in every one of them: story. From the dawn of time, humanity was captivated with storytelling. Whether it's an Alfred Hitchcock movie, or a Michelangelo sculpture, or a cave painting by some unknown primal man called Jack, or that masterpiece of Lightbulb Man scene, story has always played the main role in every art piece. Even deliberately removing the story from a work tells a story by itself. Fast forward 2026. Video games are the cutting-edge form of art. Now this novelty introduces a new element, something that didn't exist in any other form until now: the ability to interact with the art, to walk inside it, to change it for the better or worse. That is, of course, gameplay. For the first time, we the audience have a saying in the progression of the tale. Gameplay is the life and soul of video games. You won't play a game that you can't enjoy. But now comes the question: what's the role of story here? Does gameplay render it completely useless? Which one is more essential? Could a game be good if it doesn't work one of them right? Let's answer them all. And don't worry, it's not gonna be the cliche we need both of them mindset. But before getting to all of that, I appreciate any form of support, even as small as hitting the like button and subscribe. Thank you. Are stories really necessary to make a game? As much as it hurts me to say, the short answer is no. There are a lot of popular games with zero storytelling. Case in point, Tetris. But that is not our argument, is it? We're looking for games that actually have a story, but a poor written one. Games that make you say, I wish you didn't have any at all. For that, we should first categorize games into 4 groups and compare them. Games with good story, good gameplay, good story, poor gameplay, poor story, good gameplay, and poor story, poor gameplay. Let's start at the lowest of the low, the group that I like to call the garbage. These are basically unplayable games. Not fun to play and not even engaging to at least follow the narrative. I can't really name any of them because they are so bad that most of us wouldn't give them a try. But just for the sake of it, let's say 50% of the Steam library. Next we got poor story, good gameplay, aka mainstream. Every now and then you meet people who have the most garbage taste in music. Shit like this. And when you ask them why they listen to this, they say cause it has a cool vibe or something. That's how it is in gaming industry. As I said before, I'm only talking about games with poor or mediocre writing, not the ones that don't have any story at all, like Rocket League or FIFA or PES. The games in these categories are usually either AAA works with high-end graphics and well put together coding, appealing to the mainstream gamers, like the last 10,000 entries to the Call of Duty franchise, some of the Assassin's Creed series, Battlefield, Need for Speed, Far Cry 6, Tomb Raider, and I will probably get stoned for this, GTA V. Yeah, I know, you all love Trevor, but name one GTA moment that made you do this. I dare you. As I was saying, it's either games like this, or indie games by people who had a brilliant vision on a cool gameplay mechanic, but didn't bother writing a decent story for it. Enter the Gungeon, Fury, Machinarium, and Cocoon. So, what makes these games so popular? Putting the focus on things that actually matter, things that make a game what it really is about. Entertainment. The player just mashes some buttons and doesn't know why this game feels so fun, but a lot of effort and man hours has been put into the invisible details that you can enjoy, but won't appreciate. Now the real question: will the lack of a meaningful story really hurt the game? Well, not directly. You can still have a great time with them, but after a while you might feel like the game is shallow or empty, as if you're reading a romantasy novel. Like it's not that bad, but am I wasting my life reading this? Or to put it better, it's like sleeping with one of these. Yeah, it looks humane to a degree, but it doesn't talk to me. The third group, good story, poor gameplay, or as I call them, the pretentious. Or just another name that just popped in my head, intellectual wannabes. These games are for the people who will tolerate the most absurd, broken gameplay, just because they believe the story is deep and it's worth it. I know because unfortunately I fall into this community as well. Some examples would be Death Stranding, Metaphor, Witcher 1, Gris, Alan Wake, Mosaic, Kentucky Route Zero, Nier Automata and Replicant. As much as I love Nier Automata, don't tell me you actually enjoy this Devil May Cry mimic fighting system that isn't even hack and slash. Like, why am I hacking and slashing but the robots won't be slashed or hacked? It should have been called hack and smash actually. A lot of underrated titles fall into this category. That's because the first thing an audience will come across is gameplay. Before anything else, I have to be able to enjoy the game, to invest in it, to care. A good story buried underneath a bad gameplay cannot be called a good game. That's how the second category slaps, as stupid as they are, have a bigger audience than these Shakespearean masterpieces of storytelling. To keep with the tradition, these games are like a really ugly girl. They have a good heart and a good mind, but people won't see that. That's why, shockingly, these monstrosities still get more action. But if you're able to look beyond the fog, to stretch your hand and touch the diamond core, good for you. And finally, good story, good gameplay, aka absolute masterpieces. The difference between a man with one leg and a man with two is that only one of them can run a marathon. That's how it is in video games. The distance between the two former groups and this one is unimaginable. This Persian poem describes it the best. A man who knows and knows that he knows will gracefully strut in an eternal bliss. A man who knows but doesn't know that he knows, wake him up before it's too late. A man who doesn't know and knows that he doesn't know will desperately limp to reach the ultimate destination. A man who doesn't know and doesn't know that he doesn't know will stay in complete ignorance forever and ever. A graceful strut and a desperate limp. That's the distance between a game that does some things right and one that does everything right. Fortunately, I can name games for an hour in this category. Dark Souls, Sekiro, Devil May Cry, Metal Gear Solid, Hollow Knight, Katana Zero, Final Fantasy, Prince of Persia Warrior Within, Hades, Cyberpunk, Legend of Zelda, God of War, Nine Souls, Celeste, Inside, Resident Evil, World of Good. What's the best way to annoy a critic? Do every single thing right. If a beautiful story can connect to a creative gameplay, you have a game in your hand with hours and hours of replayability. If there's some form of magic in our world, it's gotta be these games, because that connection makes everything more tangible. The immersion is out of the world. When you're fighting the Hollow Knight, his backstory will make the fight more painful and tragic. When you're walking in Anne Orlando, knowing that it's all an illusion chills you to the bones. That's the story side, but it can be about the gameplay too. When you keep dying in Celeste, it reminds how bone-breaking and painful climbing a mountain or defeating depression can be. Or what does it mean to be chased by time when the Dahaka is after you? But all of these are irrelevant to our question. As I promised, the answer isn't the cliché of a bird needs both wings to fly. One of them has to be more important. But which one? Well, to be honest, there's no solid answer really. Now, in my opinion, gameplay is more important. And that's coming from someone who adores movies and books and wishes to publish his own one day. Games are not there to tell a story. They are made to create a feeling, to separate you from the reality for a minute, captivate you with a sense of being in absolute control. If we are blessed with a great story too, even better. But it's not necessary for success. The same can't be said about gameplay. Of course, as I said, that's just my opinion. So what's yours? Is story more important than gameplay? Are both of them as important? Or am I missing an element that's more important than both of them? Tell me all of that in the comment section. If you enjoyed, hit the like button and subscribe. And don't you dare go hollow.